back with another episode of Lakers Weekend, everyone. It's Lakerholics Spotlight. Appreciate you joining us right here at the Lakers Fast Break. Got the Lakerholics here. Make sure you stop on by Lakerholics.com. They've got all the information that you need on the Lakers, plus great opinions and more. And you can also share your opinions as well right there at Lakerholics.com. Well, the Lakers heading into the Magic Kingdom later today, for the Lakers and the Orlando Magic. Looking forward to that. Can they keep the winning streak going? It's at 8 right now, and they have turned their fortunes upside down with a great run by the team. They all seem to be happy. LeBron is getting eaten by alligators on the golf course. It's just absolutely just a great time right now. And well, he almost got eaten up by, that alligator did, or yeah, the alligator did want to really eat him. If you watch the social media, or at least Lakers Fast Break on Twitter, you get to see that. Yes, he's kind of peering in there. But yes, they're having fun now. They're enjoying themselves, and it's great to see because the Lakers are now solidifying themselves in third place in the Western Conference. And here today to discuss the rise of the Los Angeles Lakers on this 8-game winning streak, Luka's MVP chances, and more. Two great men indeed. It is, of course, first off, the legendary Laker Tom, the guy who puts out more Lakers blogs than anyone else. It is Laker Tom at Lakerholics.com. Laker Tom, great to have you here. Do you have the Coke in hand?
Always in hand.
Okay, I have my chocolate milk in hand. So there you go. All right.
Gotta have our libations.
There you go. Absolutely. Shout out to
Curtis. Can you imagine how much fun Austin and LeBron and Luka are having now that they're all golfing together?
Yes, that's because Luka has now picked up the game. LeBron has showcased his game more, and of course, everybody knows how well Austin plays. We'll see if Austin is a go for later today. He is listed as questionable leading into the game. But Laker Tom, it's been a great week for the Lakers. They have thrust themselves back into the national spotlight.
A great 3 weeks, man.
Well, eight games. Let's just say 8 games as far as I'm concerned. So
I'm considering it 12 games because starting with the February 28th rout of the Warriors, we've won 11 of 12 games.
Yes, we have.
You know how many games we have remaining?
We have 12. Yes,
we have 12. If we repeat 11-1 in the next 12 games, which is possible, we will end up with 56 wins. A dramatic improvement from last year, and probably a 22-2 record going into the playoffs. It'd be hard to bet against the Lakers. We've seen a turnaround that nobody's ever seen before. I mean, this has just been a masterclass of it. I mean, I make predictions like people throw away pennies because basically I'm always optimistic, but I predicted exactly what is going to happen on this whole thing 12 days ago. After the first 2 wins, I said, okay, here's the path they got to do. They can jump from number 6 to number 3. They can lock up all of those tiebreakers for the 3 guys behind them. And, I would have given the odds 1,000-1, maybe even worse than that. I mean, that was one of them really outlandish predictions to make, and I got anything came true. So I'm predicting the next 12 games, we're going to do the same thing that we did in the last 12 games. We're going to go 11-1. We're going to win out. We're going to go into the playoffs as the effing favorite because we're so red hot. That's my take.
Let's just forget about that OKC team and that San Antonio team.
Well, we're going to beat them twice just to show it, add to the fervor when the gambling goes on.
Okay, well, we'll see who they suit up then, because OKC, San Antonio, and Lakers too. If Lakers lock up the 3rd seed, there's no reason to go ahead and have the main guys play. Correct?
No, you don't want.
Unless it's to beat Boston's record, because Boston's currently 2 games.
Why I knew all 3 of those guys were going to play?
Okay.
Any basketball player will tell you if they're in a really hot streak, the last thing they want to do is sit.
Okay.
You don't want to the Lakers are going to go after every game for the rest of the way because it's just 12 games, man. It's just 12 games. It's just what we just did. Now, we have a secret weapon, though. You know
Mhm.
what our secret weapon is?
What's that?
The fact that we're the best clutch team in the league. We're 21-6 in clutch games. We have the number one defensive ranking during clutch minutes. We have the number one net rating in clutch minutes.
Okay.
That's why we win these games,
Okay.
because we have three guys who are clutch players, and we've seen that all year long. You know, we ended up 45-25 right now. If we hadn't been a clutch team and we're gone 21-6 during that period in clutch games, winning 21 out of 27 clutch games, we would have finished 35-35, and we wouldn't have a season that we're looking at. We have such a season right now that is so good that the decision next summer is not going to be finishing touches. It's not going to be extreme makeover, because this team is awfully good. You give us a starting power forward, a starting small forward who can defend, and a center who can block shots, and this team's going to be unstoppable. Doncic is playing like the MVP. Reeves is playing like an all-star. LeBron is playing like the GOAT. And JJ Redick is going to be coach of the year, and Luka Doncic is going to win his first MVP. And the Lakers are going to win their 18th NBA championship by beating the Celtics 4-0 in the NBA Finals.
All right. He's a little fired up this morning, everyone. Thanks.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
All right. In a good way, everyone. In a good way. In a good way, indeed. Also here today, good man indeed. Is he going to the Lakers and Detroit game? I don't know. We'll see. It is, of course, L. Rob, my good friend. Great to have you back. One of the Lakerholics. Great to have you here, my friend. With this road trip doing so well, and the Lakers are playing at such a high level. Tom is right. You know, when this team is playing on such a high level, yes, even playing two times within 24 hours, you still feel motivated to play and get out there. And LeBron had said even before the second Houston game, he was really tired. And you know what? He still gutted it out through both games and played extremely well in doing so. Your thoughts on what has created this 8-game winning streak, this, as Tom said, 13 out of 14 games stretch where they have just really been absolutely unstoppable and looking like a team that is distancing itself from its competition and looking more and more like a formidable opponent for OKC, San Antonio, and Boston as well.
Yeah, it's amazing. Tom probably, with his optimism, probably hoped that we would get there, but I didn't see a path. A month ago, 3 weeks ago.
I saw the path, but I didn't think he would ever go down.
I couldn't have envisioned it. So it is amazing. It's exciting. It is, the players feel great about going to the games. The fans feel great about watching them. It's, you get caught up in the fever, and
it's not a gap year, is it? Huh?
Yeah, that winning feeling is nothing like it. So, you kind of expect to win games now, which is a change. So what have we lost? 3 in a row to Orlando? Something like that. It seems like they always, in the last few years, somehow sneak out wins over us. So we need to start off by, keeping it rolling by getting nice payback on them from that game earlier this year and from whatever games last year. I don't know if I'm going to make the Pistons game. I share season tickets with 4 of my siblings. So some reason this year, and I usually get the Lakers game. This year, somebody else had first draft and they snatched the Lakers first. So who knows? I may try to squeeze. Company has a couple tickets, and hopefully I can maybe slide in on one of those.
I hope you do, my friend. I hope you do.
Yes. It's great feeling. JJ, you can't. He took some heat for when the team was struggling, so I think you got to give him credit for holding the team together, figuring out roles, making some tough decisions, settling on a lineup, getting DeAndre Ayton motivated to play decent ball, He's gotten Jackson Hayes to play the best he's ever played. LeBron has cut down on his pointers, and since he came back, and have committed to being more of a physical presence inside. He's moved him off the ball the way every other coach said that they eventually would, but he's the first one to really get him to commit to doing that. Of course, having Luka doesn't hurt. And then what can you say about Luka? So this is, like Tom said, this is his stretch. If he, I don't know if he has a legit shot for the MVP. With Shea being so far out ahead and being number one, and then the impact Wemby has had on the Spurs, you can't deny that. So I think he's right now, though, he's clammed ahead of the Joker, or he's even with Joker, and he's clammed ahead of some other guys. Cade, of course, with his injury, and Jaylen Brown, some of those guys. So, but if Luka comes and finishes as strong as he's been in the last, 10 games, I mean, who knows? And those guys still got to hit their 65 games. So, they may go, get tweaked or something. Who knows? But it's been incredible to watch. So it's fun times, kind of, back when Kobe was on his roll, we enjoyed that, but we didn't have a great team. So that was probably all we were looking forward to. Whereas now we're looking forward to the show and the W's. So.
But what's really amazing is that all of us were expecting a gap year. After we didn't trade that first round pick, and the way the team had struggled, and the only thing keeping us above water was really the clutch play. But all of a sudden, man, I must have read post tweets from a half a dozen people who had the same feeling I did when we beat the Bucks and Clippers in 2020 before we went to the championship. I knew then that we were going to go all the way. And I feel the same way now. I think this team can win it all. And I've always said from the start of the year that I thought this year was the best opportunity we would have, because OKC is only going to get OKC and the Spurs and all those teams are so young that they're only going to get better, man. The competition is going to get better, and it's going to take Mark Walter to do everything he can just to keep us getting better at the same rate that the other people do. But man, I mean, I'm really interested to hear what you got to say, Lee, about what the game against the Pistons is going to be like now that they don't have Cade. They're winning. Duran's gone crazy, and their shooting has got to hurt a lot because
the Pistons have been struggling. I mean, even they've been just around 500 the last month or so. So they've been kind of up and down. I think when they lost to San Antonio, the way they lost to them, and then they came back and had San Antonio again, and San Antonio decisively beat them a second time. I think that impacted their, mentality. A young team kind of got put in their place. So
the first season, though, that they've really, it's the first season where they've dominated, and they've never had, teams.
They were never the hunted. They were never. I mean, they haven't been the hunted. They haven't had any
expectations. The first time you go through that, and you gotta fight through that. It's why.
So I mean, I think the game, it's going to be a tough game. I mean, Pistons have a good team.
Well, they play defense, man.
Cade's the primary, handler, and he's the big piece. I don't know. I hope the Lakers don't come in thinking because Cade is playing, it's going to be an easy W, because the rest of those guys have shown that I think the Pistons are 7-2 or something like that without Cade. They have a pretty good record without him. So they play tough, and other guys get, hey, if all of a sudden you get 5, 6, 7, 8 shots a game, and now you get 15 shots, you're kind of excited about that. But make no mistake, I mean, they have no chance of really competing for anything serious without Cade. So
what is the word? I've heard all sorts of different things about this collapse along.
Yeah, I mean, it varies,
for sure.
Yeah, some guys come back in 4 weeks. Some guys it's been 5 and 6, some couple weeks. So they've been pretty tight-lipped about it. He'll be evaluated, they said, in 2 weeks. So
How did it happen on the court? Or
Yeah, he was diving for a ball. The other player accidentally got him. I saw the play. It
Yeah,
got him in a way that just right underneath as they were diving for the ball, and it just got clipped. And they're thankful, El Rob, that it's not a fractured rib because that's actually even longer. But the
yeah,
problem is in the process, as you know, and I'm sure you've heard about it. It's not just the fact it's the lung itself, but once you get back to lung, it's getting that lung back to
that
working the
lung
way
capacity
it
back
was.
in.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the playoffs, that's when the bench gets tightened. The minutes go up for most star players up into the 40s, and if you got lung issues, then
well, timing always determines who wins in the end, man. I mean, it's the injury
yeah.
at this time of year. I mean,
But good news is,
hopefully
hopefully,
we had all of our injuries earlier in the year.
yeah,
You know,
you
we
have to
lost
be
all
healthy.
the guys out for a good amount of time.
Getting back to the Lakers, I wish we had another game with San Antonio because that's that quick guards have been our kryptonite. And that's something if we're gonna where we're slotted now, if we're gonna win it, we're gonna have to go through San Antonio and OKC. So,
yeah, we're betting that we're going to play them last. And we're betting we're going to play the Spurs first because basically we're avoiding the Thunder. And that's kind of interesting because in a way, the team that really, in a way, I've always felt we had a better chance. And a lot of it is maybe a holdover from AD being on the team that we used to have a better chance against the Thunder and we used to give them problems. Now I don't know if I feel that same way. I mean, I would rather avoid the Thunder because I think they're a young team that's proven they can win it all.
Yeah, well, we got
Spurs are a young team that hasn't proven they can win it all.
Yeah, 2 games against them, so those will be interesting. I don't think depends. It'll be interesting to see what
we got to split. We have to
OKC handles those games.
2 games. We can't lose both games to them.
I'm just going to say this with the Spurs, everybody's been pointing to their inexperience. They do have Harrison Barnes on the team, who I'm sure is guiding the team in the locker room as far as what to look forward to. But I would not underestimate Victor Wembanyama. I'm not saying, the Lakers have no chance. I'm just saying don't underestimate Victor Wembanyama. This kid, as I said last night, and I said on the NBA observations, don't underestimate this guy's will to win. He has it. The reason why he is such a dangerous player to play against, and a guy who probably will transcend the league for years to come, barring any health issues, is the fact that not only does he have the talent at 7'5", 7'6", he has the drive. He has a drive. I've talked to people who know the family of Victor, who know Victor personally, and they've all spoken about the fact that he has it. He has it.
I don't think any of us doubt that. I mean,
he wants to be the best.
He's the future.
Great
job of tanking by the Spurs, man.
Well, he has intel. I'm blown away. Thank you for remembering that. Truly, this to you, Podfather, for the shots a while back. Thank you. Appreciate it. Very, very much appreciated. Yes, I was feeling that for a little while on that third shot I took on the air, but thank you so much for doing that. Truly appreciate the kind super chat. But when it comes to the Spurs, it's the fact that Wembanyama, it just has that drive to be better. He was not going to stay on the same timeline the Spurs were. If Victor Wembanyama weren't there, they wouldn't have traded for De'Aaron Fox because that's something he was pushing for, to be competitive right away. This kid wants to win and win now. And in a series against the Lakers, I would love to be. Oh my gosh, of anybody.
Maybe they can hire an ex-Mavericks general manager again.
Oh well, yeah, we'll see on that one.
Why didn't Wemby play against the OKC earlier earlier this week, or was that last week? That was the one thing I was disappointed about. I'm like, Come
I
on,
know
you're
he
going
sat
against.
down a game because he was just fatigued. I know
Yeah.
he was coming off a Clippers game, and he said
All
after
right.
the Clippers game, he said
Yeah.
he was fatigued. So I guess they rested him
So
as a
that's what
precaution.
Well,
still
man, you got to
that's
beat
what
him now. You
still
got to beat him
bothers me
now before
about
he puts on
today's NBA.
50 pounds.
Even if the best player, if the guy with the most drive, the next one who's the next big thing, if he doesn't get motivated to play against Joker, the other. Can you imagine Kareem back in the day? Wilt's on deck. You know what? I'm sitting out. I'm not gonna play against Wilt.
I'm just telling
No,
you,
he
don't
he wanted to
underestimate this
drop
kid.
40 on Wilt. He wanted to go in there and try to destroy him.
I understand it's a different mentality. I
So
agree with you
Yeah,
wholeheartedly,
but
but don't underestimate
now's
this
when you
kid.
got to beat. Now isn't when you got to beat Wemby. Not 5 years from now, man. When you
yeah,
put on
I
40
agree.
pounds and
I
5 years of
agree.
experience,
I agree.
you want to beat him now when you can still knock him off his balance and you can still get him to make an
Well,
awkward
but
move.
also when he falls in love too much with the outside shot instead of going inside, because he does love those fadeaways. He does love the three too much. He still does things as a young player that maybe sometimes make you scratch
But
your head
he's an
sometimes.
awfully good 3-point shooter. Is his problem.
That's the problem. He's like 37, 38%. So yeah,
Yeah.
and he gets hot from there.
There's a big argument among the analytics people that the 3-point shot is overvalued, and that has taken the game a stride. That we're better off if they were like 3 and 4 points rather than 2 and 3 points. And the thing with Wemby is interesting is that there's no reason why, frankly, a guy with his height and length and extension and so forth couldn't be the next Steph Curry. I mean, the guy really can shoot well from outside.
Yes.
I don't, and yeah, I mean, I hear these guys all the time say, get inside and not, but the inside is where they can beat him up. They can pound on him and they can wear him down. They can affect his defense and his offense. When you see what Luka's doing right now with the power of his 3-point shot, he's taking 12 threes a game and hitting 42%. And he can get that shot anytime he wants it. I mean, look what Steph did. Look what Steph is still doing.
Well, he's not doing it right
The
now.
Warriors are going to be back next year. They're going to do their last hurrah unless and God, somebody got to better get a bit injured. Otherwise, these guys, the power of the 3-point shot is really one of the things that's transformed the Lakers. Is they're jumped up into the 3-point shooting thing.
Yes.
They're making 14 threes a game versus 11. They're taking more. They're making more. They haven't the last couple of games. They've been able to control and dominate it. But the 3-point shooting and Luka's 3-point shooting and the team's 3-point shooting, Smart's 3-point shooting. They got 6 guys who are averaging over 1.4 made threes a game.
So Tom, slow down on the Wemby, Steph Curry. His Wemby's a 35% shooter, I think, around there. Steph has never been under 40 until maybe the last couple of years. So he's not exactly in Steph area.
No, I just
for a big guy, he can stroke it pretty good.
But if
the three changed the game, man. If
he ever decides to go inside a little bit more, I think he'll do fine, Tom.
Well, when he gets
7'5", 7'6", I think he'll be okay.
Stronger. That is the whole problem.
I think it's just if you talk to the San Antonio Spurs, Megan Price, who I brought on the show before, who's the San Antonio Spurs expert. She is, those. If she would even tell you those turnarounds that he does, those 17-foot turnarounds are the ones that probably get the Spurs fans mad the most. But again, let's get back to the Lakers. Rob, let me bring it back to you here. The momentum that has been created not only from the fans. It's funny because when the team is losing, everybody has something to say. When the team is winning like this, it seems relatively quiet among Lakers fandom out there as far as what I see on my shows, but it's great to see. Everybody seems happy. Everybody seems pleased. But is there a concern as far as the bench? Because one thing that has gone under the radar with this winning streak is the fact that the Lakers are playing a lot of minutes with their starting lineup. In fact, in the last game, all the guys, the main crew played above 38 minutes, I believe, or more in their last game. So That being said, the Lakers need more production from their bench, and having the second worst bench in the NBA is a problem. Luke Kennard got off to a great start coming here from the Lakers, but has been
3 of 12 in the last 5 years.
invisible, to be quite honest. He's had a couple donuts, to say the least, and there's just no one to initiate the offense. There's no one that can initiate their own offense coming off that bench, which is hard. They're still so reliant on Austin or Luka or LeBron to get and manufacture them points. Is this a concern going into the playoffs? Because I understand you whittle it down to a 7-8 man rotation when it comes to the playoffs, but right now, if they're only giving you 15 to 20 minutes a game, is it a problem that the Lakers are still doing the same thing they did last year, where they had to play LeBron, Luke, and Austin so many minutes leading into the playoffs that it tired them out going into the playoffs?
Yeah, that's a problem. But hey, there's no perfect team out there. So I mean, if that's the area of concern, I would prefer it to be, maybe being one bench guy short as opposed to worrying about, something larger. But I think, you got Rui. Rui's been a proven starter in the league, and he can give you a good punch off the bench. Jake brings defense, hustle. He can score a little bit. He can pop you a 15-point game here and there. Jackson Hayes, all these guys are playing their role. So I don't think you want them to try to expand beyond their role and do something outside of themselves. I think with those three and with Luke, it's a decent bench. It's not the best, but it's it's serviceable.
We need Kleber back.
Yeah, it's I think it's serviceable. Yeah, you would like to have a more ball handler there.
You forgive me, Tom, when you're asking for Maxi Kleber to come back. Says all.
Is that what Tom was saying? I was wondering who he was saying.
No,
yes, okay.
Maxi Kleber.
I mean, no disrespect, Tom, but when you say that, that's kind of funny. You just have to admit it's kind of funny.
Listen, the guy has been hurt the last 3 or 4 years, and he finally, I still hurt in the sense that he can't.
5 years ago, Tom, I would have been with you on Maxi, but
no, the way he's played when he's been in games has been outstanding. And he's
had a few minutes here and there.
The best shot blocker of the three three centers that we have.
Minutes do you want Maxi Kleber to take?
Well, I want this. I think the center position is played by committee. That's one of the things that I think.
So whose minutes do you want him to take if he gets 10 minutes? Whose 10 minutes do you want that to come from?
It just depends. If Ayton is fine, I think sometimes Ayton gets off to slow starts, and if Ayton gets off to slow start, then you put Hayes in. And if you need muscle and you need the things that Kleber brings are the two things that the Lakers need most from their center, which is floor spacing and rim protection. He's the best shot blocker.
But he hasn't given us either one of those he's the
only 5 that we've got that shoots the ball. But you watch and see Kleber's going to get minutes in this game.
I don't know if I think I've seen him hit 1 3 or something. I don't. Okay,
he doesn't do that anymore. He did it with Dallas, got the big contract, and how many times have we seen players once they get the big contract, their game and their health goes haywire, and that it did for him in his career. Now he's trying to fight to save a spot in the league as a mid-30s guy, and he's now not stretching the floor anymore. He's just right there as a guy who's given some good hustle minutes when he's in there, but realistically, you've only talked about the center by committee. He's still not shaving minutes, just a 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes a game off for LeBron. 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes for Luka, or 2. I'm just asking for there's just no one off the bench that will shave those minutes for our big.
The answer is Aiden needs to play. Aiden needs to play up to his capabilities, and Jackson Hayes needs to play like he has, the best Jackson Hayes. That's the best chance we have. Let's not go down Maxi Kleber road.
No, your best chance you're gonna end up. The 2 guys who are gonna play most center if we're gonna win are gonna be DeAndre Ayton and LeBron James, not Jackson Hayes.
Well, he still needs to play some.
Yeah,
but you guys aren't concerned at all about the minutes.
But it's a matchup situation. There's certain guys that he can play great against. other guys can shut him down where he can't even seem to get a lob.
So
And
you guys aren't
happened in the playoffs last year because Gobert shut him down. He could not get a lob off of Gobert.
Gobert shut him down.
They packed the paint as well.
Yeah,
They took that by packing the paint. You literally take the lob out of the offense for the Lakers and allow them to go ahead and open up the shots. The Lakers had to make the shots from outside, and they didn't. But what I'm asking, guys, is the minutes that they're playing now are heavy for the starting five. I understand it's great because they're feeling good and whatnot, but last year they logged a great amount of minutes, the starting lineup did, before the playoffs, just to make it to that 50 wins. They don't have that buffer yet, but very soon, if they win as much as Tom is going to say they're going to win over the next, let's say 5 to 7 games, they will be an island.
Look at the schedule. They got 2 tough games against competitive over 500 teams. Then they got 5 games in a row against tanking teams.
I understand that. So what I'm asking is, they're going to be, if they continue to win, they'll be an island amongst themselves in the Western Conference, with the only real thing that they have to target is Boston in the other end, as far as seeing if they could actually catch up to them as far as record wise. So with that, at what point do you start thinking of maybe shaving off some minutes for the big guys, because for the big three, because again, last year they had to play heavy minutes leading into the playoffs, and you cannot tell me that did not
at
all.
You definitely want to watch their minutes and monitor their minutes and cut them back and let them feel refreshed going into the playoff. But minutes and fatigue, I'm not buying that from last year. They simply got outplayed. Minnesota.
They had taking injuries and they couldn't get.
Minnesota's defense was very aggressive, and that's what we're gonna find in the playoffs. They was up in us, and the guys they didn't respond well to it. JJ freaked out and stopped playing anybody.
That's what I mean.
So
there was fatigue there in that game, specifically in that second half.
Yeah, it's going to be fatigue if the coach is not putting in the
starters the entire second half. Of course, they were fatigued.
But as far as, I'm not asking for them to take days off. I'm just asking, can you find them maybe down to 32, 33 minutes as opposed to the 38 that they're playing?
You're absolutely right, Gerald. Yes. They got to do. You have to do that. But the way you do that is those 5 games that you have against tanking teams. You want these guys to sit the goddamn fourth quarter. You want to. That's where you get their minutes down that way. You don't do it against the 2 games against the Thunder. And you don't do it against the next 2 games where we got tough teams that we're going to have to really play well to win and not allow, the main thing we got to do is to get rid of Jamie's goddamn trap games, man. We can't take one of those 5 games against those tanking teams and, have some unknown guy go crazy.
The only one I'm worried about minutes was LeBron. The rest of those guys are in the prime of their careers. Reed, Jokic, Aiden, all those guys. I mean, those guys should be able to go out there and play 40 minutes a night in the playoffs. I mean, if you're going to be a championship team, you better be ready to do that. So if they can't, then we're going to find out.
That's what I'm thinking. While I see
this is like 2020 though. In 2020, we had those early injuries. And the complaints of everybody that's what saved us because our superstars got injured early and didn't have to play full seasons. Well, look at this year. That's exactly what's done. All of the time that this is the middle of the year for LeBron because he missed the first half of the season practically. That's a great thing because the number of minutes that you're going to play this year is going to be a lot less. And hopefully we got rid of the injury.
I'm just saying because, again, LeBron has already said even before the second Houston game that he was tired before the second Houston game. Then you asked him
I like his answer to when the coach came to him in his last game. Are you tired? I know you guys are tired. He says, I'm not tired. And then Reeves forced to chime in saying, I'm not tired either.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you what is quoted by LeBron James. And again, he's fine now. See, he looked like he had a relaxing day of golf.
I would take it easy with LeBron's minutes.
Okay.
You want him to be fresh.
So heading
But
into the playoffs,
I don't want them to. I don't want them to take the foot off the gas, man.
I understand that, Tom, and obviously you don't do that right now. I'm not asking them to do it right now. What I'm asking is once the Lakers will be at a point if they continue to win, cannot move up to San Antonio and cannot move down.
They can't catch the guys ahead of them, and the guys behind them can't catch them.
They're almost there, Tom. They're almost to that point where the guys behind them cannot catch
They're
them.
already there. They're already there.
Well, technically they're 3 games back as far as it's concerned, but with 12 to play, I would just get it to that 7 game mark, and if they're up like 3 or 4 games, then that's when you can start looking at it. But Rob, again, this team has found success in so many ways over the past week and a half. Just the way they've come out of it, the big confidence boost they got in Houston. How much do you think that did for the Lakers as far as taking 2 in Houston, and how much do you think it did to hurt Houston and their psyche going forward?
Yeah, I think that was a big momentum builder for the Lakers. I mean, we had a decent record, but we hadn't beaten good teams, and we definitely hadn't beaten teams with some athletic wings. So beating Houston, I definitely think gave them a boost of confidence and let them know that it was pretty much widely considered that Houston, San Antonio, and OKC were the top 3. So once you knock off one of those, you feel great about it. So, and then the way they did it with some good defense and a good defensive scheme and game plan.
Only 82 points and a half, and both.
Yeah, they had the opposite effect. I mean, I'm sure it's having Houston scratching their head, but Houston have been kind of struggling a little bit. So, I think it was a good springboard for the Lakers.
What about you, Tom?
Without those 2 games, I don't think if they split those games, I don't think they go in. And
the guys,
all the guys in Miami, I think they would have probably sat one of the big 3 in Miami.
I agree with you on that, Rob. Absolutely. Tom?
I found fascinating when Houston, KD really took some hits in that 2-game series. And the Houston Rockets, the only team probably that was more dismayed by what happened in that series had to be the Dallas Mavericks. Watching Luka go on this thing where he breaks records that you're talking about records that no Lakers ever done before in 8 games, ever. And you look at the Lakers, the list, Kobe never did it. Shaq never did it. Magic never did it. Kareem never did it. I mean, you go down the line like that, and the way that Luka is playing right now, it's hard to imagine a better player. I mean, you've got James Worthy saying that he's maybe the clutchest player the Lakers have ever had on their team. He's already set the record for 3-pointers by Laker players?
Yes.
Per season. He's averaging,
I don't know if that speaks to Luka's greatness as much as the Lakers ever having a real 3-point sniper.
I agree.
Yeah, well, that's probably true. I mean, he's not challenging Steph, and although I'd be curious as to how many threes he's leading the league in attempts and in makes.
Yeah, I mean, Luka's taking 10 threes a game, so he's firing.
That's the single biggest thing that's turned us into a top 5 3-point shooting team now.
Your dream has come true, Tom. Your dream.
That was one of our biggest gripes with Luka. It's like quit shooting when he was shooting.
When you look at the turnaround, though, the 4 things are the 3-point attempts and the 3-point makes. The assists were up there at 30 close to every game, and the turnovers, man. I mean,
yeah, but when you're shooting 40, Luka's up to 40% this, since the calendar turned 2026.
You said he took 17 threes, and
when you're shooting at that clip, then great. But when you're in your low 30s, then I don't want to see you.
When it's not your night, get others more involved would be wise.
Well, or attack the basket.
Don't
man.
have the Tom.
That's the
Don't have
quote.
yeah, or attack the basket, or don't have the Tom Wong mentality. So I'll get the next 5. I'm telling you, I missed the last 10, but you know what? The next 5 are mine, baby.
Well, that's
I'm
Marcus
getting along.
Smart's mentality, and Marcus believes in himself.
Well, you said you were a shooter. You said you were a shooter. You said you would fire away. So,
I generally fire away, but
yes,
you know,
that's what I thought.
but you don't. If I'm hot, I'm going to keep shooting. If I'm hot, I'm going to shoot a lot more. And if I wasn't hot, I basically attack the basket.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll just stand there at the 3. I'll just stand there at half court and just watch.
No, I had a lot of games where I basically was more of I was probably attacking the basket more as a player than I was a long range shooter.
Okay.
But
All right.
I was listen, all of the blacktops around my neighborhood had 3-point lines well before any other neighborhood.
Jump shooters love their jump shot, and I'll just leave it at that. L. Rob, my friend, let me ask you this: a really big key to the success, obviously, is Luka, who's playing at an elite level, one of the best stretches of his entire career. Austin Reeves, in at least 2 or 3 of those games, has picked it up to the point where he now looks like a player that is going to.
He's been playing excellent defense, man.
Yeah. Well, a quickness.
He does a good job on bigger guys. It's amazing.
Amen Thompson still gave him fits. To be honest with you, in Houston, his quick, because he's so quick. Quick guards like YYC mentioned are going to give us a problem with our backcourt. But I want to touch on LeBron James, the golfer deluxe, right there. I want to ask you this: a key to the Lakers' success has to have been about how LeBron has evolved and changed his game. Especially since he came back from injury and realized exactly where he needs to pick and choose his spots and be efficient in doing so. Your thoughts on LeBron James and how this could ultimately, the way he looks now, prolong his career even more, if you think that might be the case.
Yeah. It's been amazing to watch LeBron take a back seat and willingly do all of those little things that is helping his team win. So he is proving again that he is the ultimate teammate, that winning comes first. And, he's sacrificing some of his offense. You see him, his leadership, I think, is probably underrated too. I think he's part of what's motivated Luka, and he's kind of shown him what a professional looks like, and how he needs to be taking care of himself. And you see LeBron communicating on a lot more to his teammates, kind of demanding more out of them, and the more demanding and leading by example in a lot. So I'm impressed with him. I was with B. Scott. It's like, okay, LeBron, it's time to go. But you know what? If he's playing like this, and if he wants to come back, he will be a valuable and a welcome addition. But I think he's proven that he can still play, and if he's got the desire to still play, he wants to go and play Cleveland or wherever else he decides to play at this, understanding his limitations and what he can do. Yeah, he can definitely play this next year and another year.
I don't necessarily agree with that. AR needs to take that Robin role. I think that the Robin role needs to be taken up by both AR and LeBron. They need to, one of them needs to pick and choose his spots alongside Luka when it matters and when it's available to them, because the defense, they might key on LeBron. That's when AR has to make his point. When the defenses are starting, like in Houston, when they did show double teams against AR, that's when LeBron needs to be more efficient. You say no, Tom.
The Robin, as far as handling the ball,
let me get L. Rob real quick, and I'll let you.
Yeah, I just don't want to see him exerting all that energy handling the ball. Yeah, give it to him where he can. He's been pretty much scoring, in the paint pretty much. So I don't want to see him, running the offense and then settling for long threes. I think that's what you want AR doing. And so whether he's the second leading scorer and he's more involved with the offense, the Robin, you can title it like that. I just don't want him to be the second guy with the ball.
And I think you're exactly right there, Lee. What JJ is doing and why this is such a big thing, this is the move. LeBron not just accepting, but embracing being the third option, means that he's not going to be the guy handling the ball all the time. He's going to play off of the ball, and he's going to play in the forward positions and center positions. He's going to play under the basket where he does it, where his defense becomes a positive and not a negative. And it's also to keep those minutes down. And it's to make the ball handling and bringing the ball up and dealing with that, to put that both in Luka's and Austin's hands, because they are, number one, the future backcourt of this team. And number two, they're the best two ball handlers in the court, because their speed and ability to handle the ball now is far better than LeBron's. His handle has really slipped a great deal. And this is a perfect thing. That, you know, when you watch LeBron, how happy he was when the Heat fouled Luka and he was going to get that 60-point game. And you saw LeBron and the whole bench just erupt in watching that situation. You got to remember, Luka's favorite player growing up was LeBron James. And LeBron James probably respects no player in the game today more than he does Luka Doncic. You put those two together and you throw in Austin Reeves, who's like both of those guys' best buddies in a sense. And the magic that has come out of those guys finally being healthy at the same time and playing together and getting into a little bit of a role has been wonderful. I mean, you look at it and you just sit back and you wonder, how could we have thought that they couldn't pull it together and play great together? You know, three great players that are very adjustable. Yeah, they aren't the greatest defenders, but Luka basically is averaging 2.4 assists and 2.4 steals in this 12-game stretch. That's incredible when you look at it. And you think back at the basic times when he's made important steals in this game. And Marcus Smart, his numbers have gone crazy defensively. He actually is going to get some votes as Defensive Player of the Year, and he deserves some. And if he plays in the next 12 games the way he's played in the last 12, and the team does well, we're going to see a lot of these guys all of a sudden who maybe back at the trade deadline were worried about what their future was. You're going to see a lot of these guys re-signed and staying with the Lakers.
We'll see if that happens. But again, it is starting later tonight against the Orlando Magic, or later this afternoon, wherever you're at.
Game.
Yeah, 4:00 game. And we'll see guys, about just a note about the post game. I don't know yet if I'm going to have it right after the game or late tonight. I will make sure I post a note there. So keep tuned into the channel. You'll see a note on that. But before we head out, Rob, again, I want you to touch on, because I know you have a hard out in 11 minutes. So I wanted to go ahead and make sure you get some final thoughts on this team as it heads into the final, well, let's say essentially 10 games of the season. This season has been a roller coaster. We thought it many times, like we said, it's a gap year, but now the Lakers with this current run have put them squarely themselves back into this conversation. And as the odds on DraftKings and as the odds in the hotels near me here in Vegas start to go up in favor of the Lakers, your thoughts, my friend, as it gets closer to the end of the season on where the Lakers could go?
Yeah, I keep beating the teams you're supposed to beat. Keep playing at the level that you're playing at. You got 2 red letter games coming up against OKC. You need to be very competitive. You need to win one of those games just to show then you're seriously, if you get swept by OKC, haven't looked good against San Antonio. Yeah, I mean, we've done great, but we don't
need a new daddy.
Yeah, the confidence level will not be there. Guys need to know that they can beat these teams. So that's, to me, it's the most important thing, is to just continue to play good ball, establish, the same aggressiveness that you've had, maintain the defensive intensity, attention to detail, all the little things. Don't go into a lull. Don't go in and lose to a bad team, because believe it, even though some of these teams are tanking, when the Lakers come to town, the tanking is off. If they end up, coming out and they're competitive, they'll try to beat them. So don't
They're
fool
all
around.
NBA players. You got to remember that.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks
Anybody can beat
barely
anybody on any given day.
yeah, the Knicks barely beat the, they had to, pull one out last night against the Nets. So that's what I'm looking for. But I'm when you have Luka on your team, Luka's been a proven playoff performer in the clutch. Last year was probably the first year I've seen him in the playoffs not really have any big moments like Luka moments. I mean, he got his numbers, but it was not impressive. It's not what he's capable of. So, you go into the playoffs, you got Luka. That means you got a legitimate chance to. And once Luka does some magic, we know what type of impact that has on the other team. So, you hit one of those daggers or two against, there's a young team like San Antonio, that will give them a wake-up call. So I'm almost like, hurry up playoffs. You don't want to peak too early and be playing your best ball in March, and then when April and the playoffs roll around, you're not maintaining it. So just keep doing what you're doing. Very, very optimistic going in.
Before we edit out, it is, of course, Lakerholics.com. Please go ahead and stop on by, sign up, become a member of Lakerholics.com. It's absolutely free to join up and share your thoughts. And although you don't even have to, if you want to go ahead and check out the work that's done by Jamie Sweet, Michael Heinrich, and of course, my friend Laker Tom as well. Tom, what you got cooking on the site, and any last thoughts on the Lakers before we head on out?
I just published an article about how the Lakers clutch play is their secret weapon in the playoffs. It's funny that life really is much better when the Lakers are winning. I mean, I try to not let my sports team's fortunes affect my family life and how I relate to everybody and what kind of attitude I'm in. But, let's be honest. When your team is winning and you go through a 3-week stretch like we just did, where you had only one loss, and that was a disappointing loss to, where we choked at the end and the Nuggets gave us another loss. But, we came back and we made up for that, and we're 4-1 against them with Luka. So, life is so much better when the Lakers are winning. And so I'd like to see another 3 weeks of the same thing. That would be something, that 6-week stretch where we went 22-2. I'd like to go into the playoffs with that in my resume.
I'd kind of like to see another 2.5 months of it myself personally, but that's just me. I'm being a little selfish there.
16, let's see. How about 16-0 in the playoffs?
Well, let's just get 16. Just get 16. I don't care if it's 16 and 15. Let's just get
maybe
16.
We do 16-3. I mean, if 11-1 is our new winning percentage, then how many?
I just want to win 16 in the playoffs.
I guess you go 16-2 probably in that case.
I don't
like
care
girls. Yeah, get there any way you can. 16 and
2 sweeps and 2 sweeps and 2 gentlemen sweeps.
It can look as ugly or as beautiful as you want it. The goal is just 16. That's all I care.
Yeah, but this smells like 2020.
Here we go.
I can smell it, and I can smell it in the air every time I look at it. And let me tell you, every Laker fan who's out there who watched that championship in 2020 feels the same exact way as I do right now. They may not believe it as strongly as I do, but every one of you is listening to this podcast. In the back of your heart, you're thinking that same thing, man. This is like 2020.
Again, I'm just going to move on. All right. It is, of course, Laker Tom at Lakerholics.com. I'm not going that far. But again, they are playing extremely well, and I'm hoping for a 16-game win total in the playoffs. That's what I'd like to see. And Rob, I do hope you get a chance to go ahead and check out the Detroit.
Spend the money on the tickets, Lee. Hustle your way into the arena, man.
Is it still the booth?
We got to have you there rooting us on and taking that win against
it's a little booth area. So if I go, it'll either be in a booth or if it's the company tickets, it's a couple seats behind the basket I have to squeeze in on my own, then who knows? I may have to even be in the upper level for it. So it's been a while. I haven't missed a Lakers game in, I don't know, 7 since the Pistons moved back downtown, which is 2018. So
I was just checking the prices for the Thunder game.
I wish I had enough subscribers because I would try to
paid
get you a press
$1,000
pass.
last year to go down, or 2,000. Nick and I paid $1,000 a piece to fly down to LA last year for a game, and we were going to do it this year, but
should have done it this year because the prices are being jacked up.
Prices were crazy this year.
Love the Lakers, but no, I'm not ready to spend $1,000. I'm not ready to drop a $1,000 on them.
Yeah.
I wish this show were more popular. I would have actually gone for you and tried to get you press passes for that game. But again, it's all about numbers. So hopefully someday you guys can get us the numbers where we can go ahead and do those type of things. So if you guys have the chance, please let someone know about the Lakers Fast Break and Lakerholics.com, your places to go for everything Lakers indeed. We will be back later today for the post game. I don't know what time yet is. Yes, please just we'll let you know. We'll let you know. Just stay tuned to the notes. I will post it exactly when we're going to go ahead and do it, and I'll schedule it out. And then also, while you're waiting, go ahead and check out the great work I've done on Lakers Latest for the Fan Arc Network, and also the NBA Observations with Legend and Matt John I recorded yesterday, which is now available to you right now on this channel as well. So for Laker Tom from Lakerholics.com, L Rob, Lakerholics as well, this is Gerald Glasser. Thanks again for watching and listening. We'll see you later today. Will the Lakers continue the hot streak? Don't get eaten up by alligators, LeBron. As long as you don't, that's good. As we head and march into the playoffs, it's the Lakers Fast Break. Have yourself a great Lakers weekend. And Michael's not here, but I'll say it anyways. Aloha.
Aloha.